Hi, Coach. We are live with the media. We're going to start with Steve Conroy.
Bruce, how big was the kill tonight? Not just being successful on it, but stemming their momentum whenever they could have gotten it.
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves, Steve, and our special teams end up being the difference after they tied it. We were able to capitalize on a power play, and they weren't. I think there was a few cracks in the kill early. They made some plays through the seam and into the bumper that we adjusted on. Did a better job taking those away. So, I mean, that's part of the chess match with special teams. And I thought our coaches did a good job adjusting between periods and making sure we didn't give them those easy looks. So, face off, it always starts there with a good kill. And I thought we did a good job in the circle. Didn't always get the clear, a couple of unlucky bounces coming out of our end. But that was better as well.
And I'm not sure if the number is right, but I think it's 18-4-2 after a loss. To you, what does that speak to?
We don't like losing. I think our guys the next night are usually ready to go. I thought our first period was okay, coming off a day off. They had good jump, but we kind of battled back after a few early chances, and we really found our footing in the second period. And then obviously the third was, not perfect to start by any means, but again, we wanted to win, and it showed. End of a road trip, a desperate team at home with some momentum, and we got the game back. And that's credit to the guys in the room for keeping their composure, and then up in their game when they needed to.
Thank you.
Yep.
Julian, go ahead.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Julian.
Good. In terms of the 17-4-2 after a loss thing, is there anything about that bounce back ability that translates for teams that have playoff ambitions? Does it translate being able to kind of bounce back and looking in the playoff environment?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have to get back to your structure and your game and a mentality that, okay, it didn't go our way the other night, but we're going to stick with the plan. We're not going to change everything. You're always tweaking for your opponent. But at the end of the day, you're going to get back to your game, what's been successful for you. And I think our guys understand that, how we need to play to be in games and win games. A lot of close games for us. This whole trip was that way. Came down to some third periods and then overtime in Chicago. And so, you do have to stick with it. And as a coach, you got to trust your guys. You might shift a few around here or there, but trust your guys to get it done, play the right way, remind them about those things. And I think that's what happens with us, throughout the year. And then I also think you have to have good goaltending because they have to make key stops as well. Otherwise, you get on those long stretches. I always felt teams that got into long losing streaks probably didn't have the goalie to bail them out at key times in some of those nights. So that's probably the two or three biggest things that I feel we have.
And then kind of on the same note, when Dylan shot the puck over the glass, you could see a couple of guys' hands go up like they knew, even though the last power play didn't go the way they wanted to, they knew they were going to get something out of the next one. Was there a sense that was going to happen?
Yeah, I think they were disappointed in the previous power play. We came to the bench and talked about maybe Martian and David switching sides on the elbows there might open up some ice and whatnot. So, they were engaged in it. Part of our meeting before the game was their D will play a little bit away from the net. So getting a puck through from the point would be an option for us tonight. It took us a while to use that one, but Charlie McAvoy does a good job to get it through. And then Taylor Hall does the dirty work in front. Coyle pays the price to score a goal. So a little bit like they did early on in the power play, we had to go to plan B or C to get the best look, and eventually we got to it, and good for us for getting rewarded.
Joe Haggerty.
Hey, Butchie, 3 assists and just, I think, a strong all-around night for Charlie Coyle tonight. How important is it for a guy like that to step up when you're missing a guy like Bergeron in the lineup?
Well, you said it right. I mean, he's probably our next, highest minute, highest responsibility throughout the game centerman. Whether he's on the numbered second line or third line, however you want to look at it, he's going to play the most minutes. I think he understands that and relishes, those opportunities and responsibility. And I think he's doing a really good job, Hags, pulling that that line along and playing the way they need to in the offensive zone. Like the goal Freddie scored, we had talked about getting to the interior against Winnipeg. They have some smaller D, a couple of really big ones, but some smaller ones. And statistically, they don't defend the slot that well for whatever reason. So get inside there. And Charlie started that. He got inside, even though he lost the puck, and he was heavy in there. And, Freddie kind of cleaned it up, and that kind of got us going for those types of goals. And I know that, Jake and Marshy scored a nice one off the rush, but the rest of that period, we kept playing inside. We didn't score again, but we really tilted the ice in our favor, which allows our D to rest. So credit to Charlie for getting the ball rolling on that one. Obviously out there for a key draw, 6-on-4 at the end of the game. Power plays into Bergie's spot, so helps in the bumper on the last goal. So yeah, I mean, he did a lot of what Bergie would have done for us tonight, and good for Charlie. I mean, he takes a lot of pride in his work, and happy to see him get rewarded.
And what did you think of Studnicka's game tonight?
I thought he was good. He got hit a couple times, bounced back. He started the breakout on Marsh's goal by being in the right spot, Hags. He's underneath. He's not cheating and leaving the zone early. Some of his habits before, we would have had to remind him about that. So clearly he's corrected that down in Providence. And as a result, is in the good spot, whether we win the puck back or not, we do. Jake does a good job going out to the point. So I like that part of his game. I thought he was moving well through the middle of the ice, shot when he was supposed to, kicked it out to the wingers when he was supposed to. So, good for him. We need that. As you said, with Bergie out, other guys have to step up. We're not going to lean on Jack for everything, but he's going to, get his minutes. I don't know what they turned out tonight, but he was playing in different situations. So good for him, playing with good players, did his job well, and should get another opportunity in Montreal. We'll see how Bergie's doing, but was happy for him.
We'll do one more for Scott McLaughlin, and then we'll go to Russo.
Hi, Bruce. Flipping Holla and Nosek tonight. What went into that? What did you want to see there?
It just seems like Hall and Pasta in Minnesota got a little frustrated the other night. I'm not putting that on Eric. I don't want to break those two up. So moving a center around sometimes gets one guy excited. I thought Eric did a really good job actually with Fliggy and Foligno and Laser. They were a good forechecking down low line, even though they didn't hit the score sheet. It helped us a lot in the second period, steady our game and tilt the ice. And Nose gets a chance to move up, made a few plays. A couple other instances he needed to be stronger on the puck, so we'll address that. But that was it, just to give the guys a different look on the wings, and then maybe get a couple centermen going again by playing with some different players, and we'll see how it plays out in Montreal. But it worked for us tonight, I think, in spots. But we'll see. We'll see how our lineup looks then if we go back to it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Hi, Charlie. We are live with the media. Media, just a reminder, if you have a question, use the raise hand function. Julian, go ahead.
Everyone's got to do their part. You want to take as much responsibility as you can, and make sure you're kind of filling the gap. It's a tough gap to fill. No one can replace a guy of his caliber, but together it's a joint effort, and everyone's going to do their part. And I thought we did that for the most part. And you get some guys coming in playing draw or playing center that haven't played in a little bit. Laser last game and taking some draws tonight, and Stud's coming in and doing a pretty good job. So that's huge. That's what we need. That plays into us getting those 2 points here. So it's just it's a complete effort by everyone around.
Is it okay to go now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Charlie, sometimes you can look at some stats and kind of say, hey, it's just a thing. It's just you can blow it off. But the 17-4 and 2 after a loss, like, what does that say about your guys' ability to bounce back? And what do you read into it in the locker room?
Well, we always talk about that. And you know, when you play, anyone who's competitive, you lose a game, you want to come right back and redeem yourself and win. And that's stuff we always talk about when we go down. We lose one, you know, we're chomping at the bit to come back and have a good game. And that's what you need, especially during these, you know, later stages of the season and into the playoffs, where playoff time, you're not going to win every game. You know, you can't just roll through. It's going to be games you lose. It's how you respond, and you got to respond quick because it can get away from you. So we kind of preach that now, practice that now, get that, you know, in our heads, that mindset. And I think we've done it pretty much all year. So those are things that we have to continue to do.
And just quick, has there been a loss this season that stuck with anybody, or do you throw them all away?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Has there been a loss this season that stuck with anybody, or do you just throw them away? You know?
No, you can learn from it. You obviously, you of course, you want to learn from things. You can't dwell on anything. You can't change it. You know, so why dwell on it and think about it? You move on. You come back and you redeem yourself. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to play a perfect game. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad games. That's how you respond. And even in game 2, you have a bad period, come back and do it right. And that's all you can do. That's all you can ask from each other. And we've done a pretty good job of that.
Last call for questions. All right. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll have Linus available shortly. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the raise hand function.
Where do I look? Oh, there.
I think we're going to start with Russo.
Well, it meant that we won the game, you know. They came out hot, and you know there's going to be a pushback from every team, and unfortunately, I couldn't keep the puck out of the net there in the beginning, and made it a little bit unnecessary even. And but I really liked our response after that. You know, we got the stuff together, and we went forward, and then power play came up huge.
Are there any other questions? All right. Thanks, everyone.
Great.